Okay, yesterday you had last 2 days you had a simulation where you're seeing Total War. You need to turn in your sketches if you haven't, because those are worth points. And today we're going to talk about some of the offenses that happened during Total War. So one of the first things is Total War means everybody's on board with helping the effort to beat the enemy. That means money. You need money to buy the uniforms, to buy the food, to buy the weapons, to buy the tanks, to buy the planes, everything. And if you were conscripted, which is your vocab word today, all men who were 18 years or older had to enroll in the military and serve time. But there were instances where people were younger because they lied about their age. We weren't really taking, hard evidence. We was kind of the honor system back then. But you were supposed to, if you could walk, talk, and shoot, we needed your body to go to the war effort. Women were not allowed to engage in combat back then. They are now. And we needed people to join. We needed people to be on board. And so we had all this propaganda, this advertisements to get you on board to fight the enemy. So this one over here is Uncle Sam, and he's the persona of the U.S. He's the older uncle wearing the patriotic colors, and he's telling you, guiding you towards what you need to do. He is stomping on the Kaiser. That is stomping on the leader of the German country, and that was who we were fighting in World War I. And so it's got the patriotic colors. You want to buy U.S. bonds, which to raise money, the government had to sell you tickets. These tickets you held on to. They took your money, bought war stuff, and when it was over, they were going to pay you back in full, plus money extra for the privilege of having that money to use. So buying war bonds was considered a patriotic duty to support your government. We also rationed food and supplies like gas and butter and rubber and metal and whatever else we needed to make stuff that was going to go to war. And you were supposed to be grateful and energetic to do that because you were helping the war effort. We also set prices on goods so they wouldn't get out of control. Like, we didn't want bread to cost $20. We wanted to keep it affordable so people could still maintain a lifestyle. And we banned people from striking at work. It was everybody on board, and we couldn't let you disrupt that effort. Now, total war means you are all a target, anywhere. It used to be war was you go off and you fight over here and you're safe if you're not in that place. But this, and you read that the other day, Germany thought everyone was a target, and they were going to treat it as so. So they torpedo a boat full of just normal people. There were Americans, there were some Irish and British on it, but the Lusitania was sailing across the Atlantic Ocean to Ireland. Around Ireland and Britain, Germany was trying to dominate the seas, and they said, if you have a boat go through here, we are going to torpedo it. Because Germans now had a new kind of weapon called a U-boat. Or in German, it's called Unterseeboot, is how you say submarine in German. The Unterseeboots were torpedoing things, and now you could be shot from anywhere underwater, and you were no longer safe where you were. And so they said that they were going to shoot a boat. The problem was this boat didn't know exactly where they were anyway. As you're sailing to Ireland, it's rough water, it's foggy, they're not even sure where they are.
How do they guide it to hit exactly a boat?
I think they were using coordinates and typing in numbers. Like now we can guide a missile and it can curve and do whatever, but there I think they had to, like, on a map say it's coordinate here, type it in, and it was going that way. And they were close enough to see it, but the boat couldn't see the submarine. Submarine comes up and it can see it, and they shoot this stuff. Now, the boat had gotten a warning that there was a German boat somewhere in the vicinity. They just didn't know where. So they knew that they were in danger, and so the captain of this boat decides to take the boat as fast as it possibly will go to get to the shore in time and hope it can outrun this torpedo or, miss it by a little bit. The Germans claim that this boat was smuggling contraband, which is one of your words, of something that was an illegal good to transport at the time, like weapons or gas or explosives or something. They said no, we didn't really have anything on there. It was just people. But there was some issues going on of people smuggling goods to other places. When they hit this boat, the people on the boat freak out, and that really is what killed a lot of them. If they had stayed calm and proceeded off the boat in a normal order, they might have all gotten into the lifeboats and lived. But people usually freak out. It hit the back, and it's going to go down. The back of the boat is going to go down first.
But is that what it's meant to do? It's poke a hole in the boat?
Yeah, because once you have a hole and the water's filling in the hole, it's going to weigh it down. Now, this is 1915. This is 3 years after the Titanic. The Titanic was a big boat, and they claimed that it was never going to be, it would never sink, which is an impossible thing to ever say about a boat. But the Titanic didn't have enough lifeboats for every person on that boat. They had learned from this. They did have enough lifeboats, but when the ship gets blown up or from underneath, people freak out. And instead of orderly evacuating the boat and getting the boats all out, they freak out and start throwing the boats over the side and climbing over each other, and only 6 out of 44 boats get into the water with people. That means like a little bit over a tenth actually got into the water and saved people. So they have all these people that are jumping off the boats, they're breaking legs and knocking everybody down to get out off the water. And as things are going down, it's creating a whirlpool that's pulling you down too. So once you get in the water, you've got to get away. But this is May in the North Atlantic Ocean where it's cold, even though that's springtime. And so they are off the coast. They can see land, but it's 12 miles away. It's too far for them to swim, and plus the water's cold and your body starts to seize up for hypothermia. Plus, when they send out a call for help, nobody wants to go out there and get them because they know that there's torpedo boats in the area. So they're kind of, caught in this situation. Well, the kid broke his leg because people were tossing boats and stuff over the edge. But these are.
How did he get to the hospital?
So, everybody's just trying to get to shore. He probably got caught up with somebody that, if you were there, wouldn't you try to grab people with you? The little kid's got a floppy leg and you try to at least get him to shore. These are actual pictures of newspapers that reported on the incident. So once this came out that a civilian boat was torpedoed by the Germans 12 miles off the coast where there had not been battles before near Ireland, people get angry because now there's no boundary. There's no boundary war. It's total war and it's on. And the British were trying to block all the German boats for the next winter to try to keep their place safe. Now, to change people's minds, you got to use some kind of manipulation, propaganda, and we still use it today. These are actual pictures that have been used, and color is important. For this one, red is associated in the U.S. with danger or threat, and we've always associated with Germany, Japan, Russia, and China. Even though we have red in our flag, all red usually means something dangerous to us. And this is the German symbol. So these are German boots covered in blood, and it says, "Keep these off the USA, buy Liberty bonds. Spend that money, give that money to the government so we can funnel the war effort, because you're having a direct threat. This is supposed to keep you a sense of urgency and fear and stuff to get you to do something." This one is a picture of the ideal family at the time. This is 1915. The ideal family is white with a mom and dad who are married. They have enough money for a nice house, clothing, furniture. They're dressed clean, and they obviously have resources like books. And the kids are asking the dad, "Daddy, what did you do in the Great War?" And it's supposed to be shameful for men if they weren't contributing to the war, they weren't in the military, they didn't kill any enemies, they weren't a hero. And this is kind of playing on men. Are you going to be shamed in the future? Are you going to be, an embarrassment to your kids because you weren't part of the war, you weren't part of the effort? And so he's thinking about what should I do for the war. This one starts to dehumanize the enemy. Because if you see the enemy as a mean threat animal, it's easier for you to kill. This is the German leader, the Kaiser, because his hat has the pointy thing on the top, and he has a mustache. The mustache is like fingers, like a scary tree, and they're up. Nobody's mustache actually goes up. It usually goes out, but he's up like hands. He's a big dominating figure over a globe, and that's Europe right there. That is a Russian soldier, because this is a Russian poster. He's on a horse, because we used horses for cavalry in that war effort back then, and he's got a long spear, and he's going to stab and kill the German enemy. Because the enemy is crazy, and he's, weird eyes, and he's violent, and he's, dominating stuff. And so this one is to get people to support Russia's effort for defense. This one is appealing to the women. Women were supposed to take care of everything while the men are gone. Grow the food, take care of the kids, clean the house, hold down the fort while the men are gone. Even if you're distraught, even if one of your family members is killed, and your kids are starving, you got to make do and figure out how to hold everybody together. And they don't have a lot. There's not a lot of food here. They're dark, they're kind of dirty, it's sketchy, and you have multiple children because you need to produce multiple soldiers in the future. This one, anytime you see a white female who's dressed in robes and they're embellished in gold, she's got her hair pulled up, and she's holding something, it's usually reminiscent of Greek and Roman times, because they're the ones that created the government that we use today. She's got one long sword, so she's armed. She's got a dove on her that's a peace symbol and gentle, because the white birds are, delicate. But she's also holding money and a scale of justice. And the justice weighs heavier than the money. So they're saying that you should donate money. This is from Austria, which was who we were fighting. Donate money because the money is not as important as the justice. We get revenge. We need to revenge for the noble nephew who got shot in Serbia. So it's saying that they're classical and powerful and kind of playing to all that. Now, with all the men gone, or most of the men gone, women have to do things that they didn't do before because there was literally no one else here to take care of stuff. Women were doing jobs that were unfeminine and dirty and maybe a little bit dangerous, and they were going out of the house to do things, and they were bringing home money. When the war's over, some of them wanted to still work because the extra money was nice and the freedom to do some things, because some people don't want to sit home and be the housewife, take care of kids all the time. Women who are nurse trained were valuable, and this is a nurse who's fixing this guy's face. And although it's hard to see, that is not really a face. That is a face from a dead person on him in a mask. You see the little color right there? Because they come back disfigured, and people have a hard time interacting with you when your face is messed up and gone, because your identity is gone, your human's gone. And so we were starting to make masks because our medicine was advancing in a way where, and before, these people would have made it. Now they're coming back from war. World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm. They're coming back with injuries that we can keep them alive. They're going to look really bad, but we can keep them alive. And the fact that you had women doing this, China changes the attitude of, okay, maybe they should vote. We wouldn't win the war without them. They're half the economy, and it changes the mind in 1920. Then you have people who are really disfigured, and this is stages of a guy being rebuilt with dead pieces and skin and stuff, because his top teeth are gone, his jaw is gone, possibly the tongue, so he doesn't, I don't know how this guy could eat or swallow, he obviously can't talk, but over time, we had surgeries where we could fix things because we were learning on the people as we were fixing them at that time. And when you have all these people coming back with mental trauma, physically disabled, the morale for war starts to slip a little bit. And then you need to have this propaganda to keep the effort going. And things like this created urgency of, we got to get the Germans, we got to get the Italians. And you have to have support, or people don't want to join the military. And so this kind of changes the perception of there's something really big at stake here. And that's why we have a lot of suicides out of veterans. So what you're going to do today is you're going to find 2 posters from World War I. You're going to put them in one in each box. So if you go to Google Images and search, and I will unlock it here in a second, you're going to copy, image, and paste. I need the link of the website. Google is not the website that has a source. Google just finds the sources.
I mean,
Did you find it? No, it doesn't host the picture though. Is the picture on a museum website? Is it on a World War I website? Is it on a newspaper? Wherever. So if you right click, copy image address, it goes here. Tell me who this poster is trying to convince somebody. Who is it? Is it a mom, the dad, the soldier, everybody, whoever? And what's the purpose? Is it to get you to buy a Liberty Bond? Is it to get you to enlist? Is it to ration your food, join the army, whatever? And you're going to pick two. So if you pick one for the U.S. and one for Germany, you can. And if you need Google Translate because you can't read the German poster about what it's saying, you can use Google Translate.